Coming up in the morning edition, the body of the late Chief Justice in state today at the Supreme Court. The Minister of Health returns to the witness stand, and a decrease in the demand for foreign work permits. It's a rainy Thursday. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and this is the Morning Edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. The streets are wet on the outside, and your commute could pose a challenge this morning. Sieska Adderley is live with traffic cops. Good morning, Sieska.
Good Thursday morning, one and all. It's a wet one as it is raining. We are coming to you live from the Carmichael Road area and here to talk about bus drivers, the weather, and everything else that you may encounter during your morning commute is Corporal Decore Barr from the Traffic Division. Good morning, Corporal Barr. How are you?
I'm good, Sieska. Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
Now, Corporal Barr, as I said, it's a wet one, as viewers are able to see behind us. Just talk about how that will probably affect morning commute.
It's going to be a real challenge for commuters. You're going to see some creative driving. Persons, we're going to ask that you exercise even more patience, drive with more consideration for other road users. If the weather is affecting your view, or you feel that it's a bit dark, turn on your headlights. Try not to drive with your hazard lights on. It would cause other road users not to know if you're going to turn or which direction you're going to turn. And that could be tragic. It can cause an accident. So we'd ask that you just turn on your headlights, drive instead of a one vehicle pace or space between you. Maybe you'd want to drive a vehicle and a half space in between just to compensate for the wet roads.
Now, you said creative driving. Give me some examples of that creative driving that commuters may see since it's wet.
Well, most persons, the rain is going to have us even more late. So persons, like we saw earlier, some persons are already taking it upon themselves to come up the middle of the street. And in this kind of condition, that's a no-no. Still dark, very dark out. Like I said, the weather, the rain is going to cause you not to be able to see as good as you would normally on a clearer day. Persons are going to be blocking the intersections, and we just ask again that you exercise patience and consideration for other road users.
Now, originally, before it started raining, we were going to talk about bus drivers. So what do you want to say about bus drivers, Corporal Barr?
Well, in reference to the bus drivers, we ask that they pull or utilize the bus stops when letting off their passengers or even collecting passengers. We also ask that persons who are utilizing these public service drivers or vehicles, if these drivers are driving in a manner that's very dangerous to their passengers and other road users, you can simply take out your mobile phone and contact our 919. Let us know which direction you're heading, possibly the vehicle that you're in, and what's happening on that or what that driver is doing. We want to enforce our road safety, and we're trying to encourage public and road safety.
Now, Corporal Barr, my final question to you, is there such thing as driving too cautiously? Because a lot of people, they almost don't know how to drive or forget how to drive in a scenario like this.
I don't think you could ever be too cautious. It's better to be careful for nothing. And again, just like you said it best just now, be cautious, be considerate, exercise great patience this morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Corporal Decore Barr. It's a wet one, as you can see behind me. We're actually underneath a bus shelter on Carmichael Road, one of the busiest thoroughfares in New Providence. So be careful if you're out on the road already. Be careful if you're about to go out on the road. Still be careful. Drive to arrive alive. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks, Sieska. Like we said earlier, it's raining on the outside this morning, and to tell us more about weather conditions, here's Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. A wet morning it is, as we have this upper level trough which is triggering some showers and thunderstorms. These showers will continue for most of the morning, some of which will be heavy at times, so we're asking motorists to exercise extreme caution while traversing the streets of New Providence. Outside of our studios, we have some light rain showers and even a recent thunderstorm. Temperature 79 degrees, your relative humidity at 83%. Easterly winds at 5 miles per hour. Your barometric pressure 1,016.0 millibars. That's 29.99 inches, and it is rising. Temperatures around the islands this morning: Green Toll Key at 80 also in Marsh, Abaco, and Freeport in Grand Bahama. The Berry Islands 80 degrees, 82 in Alistown, Bimini. Harbor Island 81, Roxanne, Eleuthera at 80 also in Adderstown, Cat Island. Staniel Key in the Exuma Chain, Kemps Bay, St. Andrews, Fresh Creek in Central Andrews, all at 80 degrees. 80s again in San Salvador and Rum Key in Betsy Bay, Meguanamore. 80s Crooked Island, Acklands, Clarence Town, Long Island, Ragged Island, Matthew Town, Inagua, all at 80 and 81 degrees in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Your boating forecast for today in the northwestern islands: easterly winds at 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Your low tide will come by at 10:17 this morning, with the high tide at 4:42 this afternoon. For the central and southeastern islands, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. That's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. In the national news this morning, the body of the late Chief Justice, the Honorable Stephen Isaacs, will lie in state this morning in the Supreme Court. The family will begin the procession of viewers at 10 a.m., followed by the Governor General, the acting Prime Minister, and the acting Chief Justice. Members of the Cabinet, Leader of the Opposition, and court officials and other dignitaries will later view the body. Viewing for the general public begins at 1 o'clock to 7 p.m. today. Meantime, members of the legal fraternity, along with family and friends, gathered at St. Matthew's Anglican Church last evening to celebrate the life and legacy of the late Chief Justice. They reflected on the lasting impact he left on the legal profession and also remembered the good times with Isaacs as a friend. Along with musical selections, friends and colleagues paid respects to the deceased, who died just 2 weeks after being elevated to the Chief Justice post. Attorney Fred Smith QC says it is a tragedy the legal field lost someone with such vast knowledge and judicial experience so soon after being appointed the Chief Justice.
Chief Justice Stephen Isaacs was, over the decades, a judge that contributed greatly to what is a bastion of our democracy in the Bahamas. And that is that for decades after decades after decades, the judges of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal and the Privy Council have really been very independent in helping to develop our nascent democracy. Our former Chief Justice was staunchly independent. However, he was keenly aware that in his role as a judge, he still had to be balanced and deliberate at the same time.
Through tributes, family and colleagues painted a picture of a man who was steady, focused, and kind, but firm. While the Chief Justice made a mark on the world, Reverend Father Roderick Bain urged others to do the same.
I want you to be more conscious of how it is that you will make a difference, of how it is that you will be more conscious, and of how it is that you will love more. As we look at our lives now and look at what we're doing with the late Justice, perhaps the psalmist would put us in the right frame of mind. Our days are like grass. We flourish. We grow. When the wind passes over it is gone.
In the courts today, Health Minister Dr. the Honorable Dwayne Sands will continue his evidence regarding his involvement in a contract awarded to the former chairman of the Public Hospitals Authority, Frank Smith, who is facing bribery and extortion charges. It has been revealed that Dr. Sands approved the $1.8 million contract to Barbara Hanna's company, Magic Touch Cleaning, months after the charges were leveled against Smith. The health minister is expected to be back on the witness stand at 10 o'clock this morning. In other news, more jobs could be available to Bahamians, and the Minister of Labor, the Honorable Dion Folks, is strongly encouraging persons to take full advantage of employment opportunities. Minister Folks says a number of Bahamians have been hired for key positions since the recent Labor on the Blocks initiatives here in the capital and in the nation's second city. He says the department has also seen a decrease in the number of applications for labor certificates.
there has been a decline in terms of application for labor certificates. And I think that more and more Bahamians are feeling more optimistic about the job environment. As you know, this is probably the best year we've had in tourism for a very long time. All of the hotels are reporting, if not full occupancy, almost near full occupancy. So in terms of the employment environment in the country, it is very, very positive now. And I would encourage Bahamians to go out and seek jobs. They are out there.
More concerns surfacing on the complement of foreign and local workers at the Point Hotel. President of the Contractors Association, Leonard Sands, sharing with us his views, noting that the heads of agreement speaks to the construction ratio. He also noted that the industry is still challenged.
What we understand from the heads of agreement is that the letter of it speaks to at the peak of construction, there will be the ratio 70-30. The challenge that we have there is that we understand that it is not government administration that's in place right now that brokered this deal. The issue we have is that to me, it is very vague to say the peak of construction. What is it? Other considerations from the minister have expressed that there is the confusion from the Contractors Association and the developers and the ministry of what is structural completion stage. That's also a peak.
And the gospel recording artist, the Region Bells, celebrating a major milestone. That story and more when the Morning Edition comes right back.
If you own a portfolio of securities within a brokerage account, like stocks, bonds, or mutual funds, you can access a hassle-free loan, known as a margin loan, based on the value of that portfolio. Your investment portfolio is essentially used as collateral for a cash loan. And the benefits are numerous. Simple and straightforward application, quick turnaround, a more competitive interest rate, no requirement for monthly payments. Contact us for more information on margin loans.
As an artist, I travel all over the world and I find inspiration all around me, from the people and especially the environment. I love the Bahamas with all its natural beauty, from Abaco in the north to Inagua in the south and all the wonderful and colorful islands in between. But we must all do our part to keep the Bahamas healthy and clean, now and for the future generations. That's why I want you to find a little time to do your part. I'm doing my part because I care. Do you?
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Cultivating character was the focus of a recent workshop at the Sandals Emerald Bay property. The initiative was a partnership between several organizations, and educators from Exuma were given tools to help students develop in key areas. Jimonita Swain reports.
What's your superpower? A chant from educators in Exuma who recently participated in a Character Day workshop held at Sandals Emerald Bay. Character Day facilitator Dr. Nyambi Hall Campbell-Dean says Character Day is an initiative that focuses on developing character strengths in young people, simply looking at character in everyday interactions. Key messages impressed on educators were perseverance and kindness.
For example, perseverance, that it's really important to have students that are naturally gifted, but it's even more important for them to realize that even if this might not be your talent, that with work you can get to the place that you want to be, right? That nothing actually just takes one time for us to do it and then we're perfect. That we have to practice things, and that practice is the skill that actually is what you need and is going to make you better.
Character Day is celebrated globally on September 26th. District Superintendent for Exuma and Ragged Island, Pamela Gord, says she tried to involve as many educators as possible in the workshop.
The Bible says that bad company corrupts good character, And it's important for us as educators to understand the depth of good character in the different ways we can help our children understand good character. And so the whole district, basically on the mainland, they're here. All of the primary schools, the special ed school, the one and only high school, it encompasses the whole student. And that's emotional, that's physical, that's academic, and definitely character has a part of that.
These educators are eager to impart what they've learned with their students.
I love the idea and the whole concept of character counts, because we need to make sure that we have persons in our school system that have good character, and also that our students would be able to emulate those same characteristics and become better citizens and productive persons in our community.
Every child will achieve academically, but we can affect the way that they achieve intellectually and emotionally. So with the character teaching that we're receiving right now, we can work on building students' character, making them more appreciative of who they are and what they can be.
Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
And we highlight a local group which has been making waves on the gospel stage for decades. This year, the Region Bells turns 70. And yesterday, members of the old-time religion group started off their festivities with a visit to the country's head of state. Sieska Adderley reports.
Oh Lord, have mercy, was trouble in this land. I see that beautiful island of sunshine, trouble in this land. God, and oh Lord, have mercy.
One by one, members of the Region Bells greeted Governor General, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Dame Marguerite Pinling, during a courtesy call at Government House Wednesday morning. It was an exciting time for the family-based gospel group, who is celebrating its 70th anniversary. Following that visit, Secretary Abraham Stubbs reveals what has kept them going for this long.
Growing up and as children, we always were told, if you give somebody something and you take it back, what do you get? Hog style. The good Lord gave us gifts, and we are not expecting to get any hog style. You know, we're going to use it for His honor and for His glory. It is a gospel group. If you listen to any of our songs, it's all very Bible-based and filled with messages for everybody. Almost every story in the Bible you can mention, we have a song to match it, to go with it. And so these that keep just being inspired to write songs are things that keep you going.
Over the years, their songs have inspired many and has become a staple of Bahamian culture. Recognizing groups like the Region Bells is what members of the National Heroes Committee have been advocating for the past 25 years, and that is to celebrate our own. Committee member Fred Munnings is happy that the day has finally come for them, and he believes it is well deserved.
They are our historians. They hold the history of our country. And as you have heard, for the past 70 years, continuously, this group have been perpetuating what we think is the only original art form in music in the Bahamas, which is the rhyming spirituals, according to the late Clement Bethel. It is authentically Bahamian, and as they have said, most of the material is based in biblical stories and Christian principles.
Before leaving Government House, the Region Bells gave Dame Marguerite Pinling a special treat.
They told me way back in the days of old, John saw a city that was made of gold, a beautiful city with pearly gates. They told me John stopped and began to relate. He saw 3 gates in the east. Oh yes, he saw 3 gates in the west. Oh Lord, he saw 3 gates in the north. My, he saw 3 gates in the south. That make it 12 gates to that city, 4 square wide. Hallelujah, God, the night John saw the mighty number way up in the middle of the air.
But the group is showing no signs of slowing down as they prepare to welcome its 4th generation of members to the group in time for next month's concert that will be held as part of National Heroes Day festivities. Sieska Adderley, ZNS Network News.
Now, Fisher, you know, we met them, the Region Bells in Cat Island during their National Hero celebration there, and they did an awesome job.
Nice
there.
harmonic singing there by that group. But this rain, man, what's going on with this rain? Boss loves to tell us what's going on with this rain, because it's not only affecting Sieska, those out there on the street, it's also affecting sports. So, rain, please go away. Mother Nature, our guys want to play.
So what's coming up in sports?
That's what's coming up in sports. Rain.
That story and more ahead in sports.
Together, they engage in a range of activities which may seem simple, but have the potential to give Symphonia the head start she needs.
In terms of this program, yes, it's going on in some islands across the Caribbean, but on the wider level, clearly, how important is that whole issue of the early childhood development?
I just watched, stood there, remained silent, minded my own business. But I knew better. You just can't mind your own business. Because it is my business. If I see someone in an unsafe situation, I have to do something. Or else I'm just as guilty as the person who commits the crime. If you witness an act of sexual violence, it is your responsibility to do something about it. You can speak up, intervene, call the police. Silence is her approval. Don't blame her. Because of what she wore, how far things went, because of how much she had to drink. No means no. Because real men don't show their strength by being violent.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
Good morning once again. The New Providence Softball Association with their eyes on the sky as rain has been winning most of the games. The Johnson Lady Truckers were leading the Proper Care Pool Lady Sharks 7-2 in the third when the Sky Watchers saw the rain come down and the officials called the game. It was not official. Joining us in studio this morning is one of the coaches of the Truckers, and Mario Ford. A winnable game only to see Mother Nature win. Must be disappointing for you guys up 7-2.
Well, you know, there's nothing we could do with the rain, but you know, they scored 2 runs in the first inning, and then we came back in the third. We started a rally where we scored 7 runs, and then we came back in the bottom of the third. They had runners on first and third with nobody out, and you know, rain came down, and there was nothing that we could have done. But we'll have to wait, and this game will have to be continued from the point where that stopped at a later date.
You guys, this is not the first time in this series this has happened to you.
Yeah, you know, the other night, you know, we had to sit around and watch the rain, you know, take its toll on us, and you know, it's a wait situation. But what it is doing to us is just weakening our team in a sense that, you know, 2 of our players are now back off to school, so we got a total of 6 players now who's not in the lineup. So the other players have to fill the void and step up their game, and we're going to go there and do what we need to do.
Mentally, how does this play with the young ladies?
Well, you know, it's a mental effect, because when you come out and you got a momentum going, and then the game has to be stopped and you have to come back a later day, it's like starting all over again. So you have to try and get that same intensity to do the things that you need to do as far as winning the game.
The Mother Nature cooperates tonight. You're back on the diamond tonight. What's the plan? Same thing?
Well, we got the same game plan tonight. We're going to we play at 8:30 tonight. We play the same team, and we're gonna have we'll have to have a different lineup again, because pitcher who pitched last night, Mia, she's off. She left this morning to go off to school, and she's going to do what she needs to do to further education, and that comes first. So we understand that, and we'll just put things together.
Before we let you go, we got to ask you how the country's greatest athlete of all time, one of the best, 100 points in the game, Eddie Ford. How's he doing?
Eddie is doing pretty well. You know, he's all day to day. You know, some days he have his up, some days he have his down, but mentally he's focused, and what really is good for him now is he's been having a lot of people visiting him, especially his Valley boys. They came there that night, he sat around and he came out, he walking around, talking, and he's his old self, you know, and his memory is still there, and he has a lot of history in him that he revealed, so he's doing much better.
Wishing him the best and wishing you guys the best of luck tonight. Hopefully Mother Nature will not come down as well again. I really want to watch Proper Care and Johnson Lady Truckers tonight. Thanks a lot, Mario.
Thank you,
Well, 3 Behemoths were on the diamond in minor league baseball play last night. Let's take a look at how they did. Chisholm going 1 for 5, scored a run, helping Visalia to a Game 1 win of the Northern Division Series, 5-3 over Stockton. Game 2 is tonight in a win, and they move on. Lucius Fox also going 0 for 4 as Montgomery lost on a walk-off 4-3 to Jackson Generals in the Southern League North Division Series, and they too face a must-win tonight. Vaz Young also 0 for 4 in Lansing's 4-3 loss to Bowling Green. Game 2 is tonight, and he too in a must-win situation. Bahamian Samuel Hunter is about to start his senior at British Columbia Christian Academy in British Columbia, Canada. Well, the 6'9", 230-pound forward recruitment has picked up in recent weeks thanks to his performance during the Bahamas Basketball Federation Summer Thunder Series, getting interest from Western Kentucky, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Kansas State, Colorado, St. Mary's, Grand Canyon, South Carolina, and the University of San Francisco. We wish him the best on this recruitment trail. The senior men's national soccer team arriving safely in Belize on Wednesday ahead of their Nations League tournament game on Friday. The Bahamas Football Association Technical Director Gary Markham on the team's makeup.
You know, they've been working pretty hard over the last 3 months to be able to put this game together. The first game for 3 years is going to be a challenge for everybody. We're in an ironical position because we have got a lot of our guys are away in college. The beauty of that is that they've got scholarships away, they're playing away because of the sport of football, which is great. So bringing them back is a short-term process. As Larry's already mentioned, we've got 4 games coming up. First one is Belize away. It's going to be a tough test, an away game. So they've been working hard, fitness-wise, technically and tactically, to be able to put this team together and do well over in Belize.
And that's going to put a cap on sports for the Thursday, but please don't go anywhere. We want to know what's happening with this weather. Basel is up next following the break.
Meanwhile, Bahamian Shanae Miller-Ubu broke a 16-year-old Commonwealth Games record as she clinched gold in the women's 200 meters final.
My teacher say I have hate in my heart, that I am no good, that I like to fight too much. Who does she think put it there? In my house, if you question Daddy, you get a black eye. In my house, a fist is power.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
In our final look at what in the tropics, we have a strong tropical wave a few hundred miles just to the southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, has about a 70 to 90% chance of development over the next few days. And then this is Hurricane Florence, which is now undergoing some changes in intensity. It's now packing winds of 115 miles per hour, making it a Category 3 as it moves towards the northwest at about 12 miles per hour, taking aim for the island of Bermuda. And then on the home front, we have this mid to upper level trough, which is creating all the shower activity that we're experiencing here in the capital and around the islands today, and that will be in place for the balance of this week. So this is certainly not the best week for outdoor activities. And then we take a closer look at Florence. As you can see, Category 3, we expect it to weaken to a 2 and then bumping back up to a major hurricane as it aims towards Bermuda. And weather, even though we don't anticipate any effects from that, save for some very strong sea surf that will be impacting these islands the early part of next week. Those large swells will be generated starting from about Tuesday night, heading into about Thursday of next week. Forecast for today, morning clouds and showers, even some thunderstorms in the mix. They will be heavy at times. 88 degrees for your high temperature. And then tonight it's going to continue on the cloudy side with showers developing late again. 76 degrees for your low temperature, and extended weather over the next 7 days. A bit wet right into Friday, and even Saturday you're going to get some more showers in the forecast. Sunday looks a little better, and as we head into the early part of next week, things are looking pretty good. LaDawn?
Thanks a lot, Basil, and that does it for the morning edition. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. See you right back here tomorrow morning.